Network reliability concept. The bottleneck of modern home networks, like any distributed cabin in infrastructure, is not speed. Poor service or lack of security. Low reliability is much worse, so this parameter can be called the main one in assessing the quality of service of an Ethernet provider. Nevertheless, in SCA standards, the theory of reliability of Ethernet networks is absent as A-class, and we must try to fill this gap. To begin with, define the basic terms and parameters. According to the classical definition, the system is operational if at a given time it meets all the basic requirements: activated data transfer rate, use authorization as well as a minor parameters, appearance, easy of use, operation of internet service, etc. Accordingly, a faulty state occurs if the network does not meet at least one of the requirements or parameters. Strictly speaking, most real home network cannot be considered a healthy thoroughfare. It is better not to use this term at all. It is clear that not every modification leads to failure of basic functions. Refer to assess the reliability of the system. It is necessary to introduce the concepts of operability and failure. Serviceability, the state of the network in which it is able to perform the specific functions with the parameters established by the requirements of contractual obligations and technical documentation. Failure is an event consisting in complement or partial loss of the system performance. Reliability is understood as the power of the network to perform the specific functions within the required period of time and subject to the rules of maintenance. It is clear that the lower the number of failures, the higher the reliability. Fossils can be divided into sudden and gradual. Sudden changes occur as a result of an instant change in one or more components that make up a network. For example, a cable, brick, switch, power failure. Gradual, a consequence of changes in the parameters of network components over time until the value of one of them goes beyond the limits that determine normal functioning, for example, cable wedging, oxidation of connections, and increase in the loss of processor in routing equipment. The failure process is usually described by complex probabilistic laws. In order not to go far into this jungle, we will try not to limit ourselves only to the current step. Characteristics that are most necessary for engineering practice. The dependence of the intensity of failures occurring in the concept of network reliability on time. Network reliability concept. Three distinct pairs can be seen: running in first, normal operation second, and wear search. The physical meaning of different pairs is quite obvious, and it makes no sense to dwell on this in detail. It is clear that the running in is least. The more perfect the communication stream, the higher the quality of installation and used active equipment. It is important to note that there are many failures during this period, even more than on a worn-out network. Mostly they are of a sudden catastrophic nature, and it is practically impossible to prevent the price. For example, this type can include mix of poor quality cables, short circuit looking cables, stroke damaged insulation, etc. An interesting consequence can be seen constantly, and the rapidly growing networks will inevitably have a high number of failures and low reliability. As these costs are invasive and you just need to strive to minimize downtime. The duration of the running period can be estimated at 2 to 3 months. The period of normal network operation is characterized by the minimum number of failures. They are of the most part regular parametric and preventable by maintenance at one or three. To assess the abilities of networks various characteristics are used including the fraction of packet losses, the availability ratio, which means the fraction of time during which the system can be used fault tolerance, the ability of the system to work in conditions of failure of some of its elements. And he will tell you Muhammad Karim.
Hello, my name is Muhammad, and our topic is it's challenges of network reliability, network protocols, and the standards. And so I did with Shamsuddin, and we were from 812106. So I will say about ICO standards. I started the International Organization for Standardization, ICO International Standards Organization, was founded in 1946 to develop international standards in various fields of technology, manufacturing, and other activities. It's unites over 70 national standards organizations. The most famous ISO standards in the field of telecommunication is a seven-layer open system interaction model below OSI. The OSI model open system interaction. The interaction of open system, a seven-layer model of data transfer protocols developed by the International Organization for Standardization and the Consultative Committee for International Telephony and the Telegraph for interfacing various types of computing and the communication equipment of wireless manufacturers. OCI layers group with data transmission protocols interrupted by hierarchical relationships. Each level series are high level, and Charon uses a series of lower level OCI layer names from bottom to top. So first, physical layer describes the mechanical, electrical, and functional characteristics of the data transmission medium, as well as the means designed to establish, maintain, and disconnect connection. If necessary, it also provides coding and modulation of the signal transmitted in the network. The data link layer is responsible for the reliability of data transmission over a certain channel between two neighboring nodes, as well as the establishment, maintenance, and the termination of connection. The block of data transmitted, it's a data link layer of is a colored frame. Link layer produces the corresponding address to transmitted frames, monitor errors, and returns frames if necessary. Implements token passing or continuation-based media accessor. See condition 3 is a network layer provides routing of packet that is transmission over several channel over one of more networks, which usually requires the inclusion of the respondent network address, the packet, the also responsible for error handling, packet multiplexing, and the data protocol management. The most famous protocol of the layer are X25, maybe one packet switched networks, IP1 TSP, IP networks, and IPX on network networks. In addition, the network layer includes 14 table protocols for features such as OSPF, RIP, and the ES, IS, and IS for transport layer providers services for reliability data transfer between and the nodes of the network, including those interactional towards several intermediate switching nodes of or seven transit networks servers as a boundary below which the unit of transmitted information are packet in the above message. So within the transport protocol of the OSI model, there are five classes of message servers, 0 to 4. There are five season layer providers, the provision of service data related to the organization and the synchronization of data exchange between processes as a presentation level. Six is a presentation layer, includes overhead operation that are accessed by the application layers below the interpret and transform, transmitted, and the required data provides the establishment of general rules for the interaction of two computers or different types. The seven application layer responsible for the interaction of application programs and the user interface, the service of providers, as maybe email, user identification, file transfer. It is protocol is rules transmitting information on network types of protocols. So first, it's a basic uh, secondly, as a applied to computer network protocols, protocol levels, the most common classification system for network protocols is as the circlet of a middle in accordance with its protocols are divided into seven levels according to their purpose, from physical formation and the recognition of electrical or other signals. So application API for transferring information by application layers. The upper seven level of the model provides interaction between the network and the users. Layer allows user application to access network servicing such a database, query processor, file access, email forwarding. It's also responsible for the transmission of service information, provides application with the information about errors and form requests to the presentation layer, example HTTP, SMTP, it is. So presentation layer, the sixth layer is responsible for protocol conversion, the data encoding, decoding is converts application requests received from the application layer into a format for transmission over the network and the converts the data service from the network into a format application can understand. At the presentation level, compression, decompression, or encoding, decoding of data can be performed as well as rejecting requests to another network resource or they cannot be processed locally. Season layer, the five level of the model, is responsible for managing of a communication season which allows application to interact with each other for a long time. The season layer manages the season creation, termination, information exchange task. Synchronization determining the right to transfer data and maintain a season during periods of inactivity of application. Transfer synchronization is inserted by placing checkpoints in the data stream from which the process resumes when communication is broken. So I finish it. Is will Is this also my topic? Thank you for